Hey guys, today I'll be doing a collection video. I mentioned in my last video that I was going to be showcasing my collection. It's not very big. I have sort of a, utilitarian way of doing fragrance, so everything I have is stuff that I wear regularly and that I love. Nothing below a 9 out of 10 is in my collection. So you can rest assured that everything here is being worn on a relatively consistent basis. The only two fragrances that I'm interested in buying that I do not own are Woodcut by Olympic Orchids, which is a great, I think it's caramel, it's like a caramel woody fragrance, and then Polo by Kerosene, which is sort of maple, I think there's vanilla in there, don't quote me on that, but it's like a maple coffee scent. There's not really gonna be much of a rhyme or reason to how I showcase these today. I'll go by brand, give a very quick description of it, and move on to the next. So, we'll start with an easy one. Creed. We got Creed Aventis. I don't care about batches, but it is 20A01N, I believe. You know Aventis, it's the king, so to speak. It's a decent fragrance. It's a good fragrance. It's a really good fragrance. Is it the best? No. Is it really strong fragrance? Yes, absolutely. Here is one of my scent of the days, Millesime Imperial by Creed. This is a fragrance that sometimes it'll wear beautifully off me. Like today, it's wonderful. Some days it comes off kind of synthetic and I don't really like it very much. But when it hits, and today it really hits. So I'm loving it today. Next we have Virgin Island Water. Living, very close to a beach in Florida, this is sort of a must-have, I think, for anyone who loves citrus or coconut fragrances. It's pretty much just a lime coconut in a bottle, like a lime coconut or coconut lime Malibu drink. I went a little more in depth in my summer video on that fragrance, but it's amazing. Really good stuff. Next I have Viking, which is my favorite Creed. This fragrance is outstanding. It is my favorite fougere, period. And I will be rebuying a bottle of this for sure. At the end of this, I'll go over everything that I'm 100% rebuying when I run out. It's not everything here, necessarily interested in rebuying, but we'll go over that later. Another brand that I own multiples of is Tom Ford. I have Tuscan Leather. Amazing. Like, I'm gonna say it for all these, because all these scents are just, S tier, top tier in my mind. Raspberry leather, my batch is a little more animalic. I've tried, a 2007 original batch and it's pretty sweet, honestly. But this is very heavy on the leather. I love it. This is my favorite fragrance of all time. It's gonna be Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. Yeah, this is just unreal. If you know, you know. I mean, most of y'all probably know it's a fairly popular fragrance. It is exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Nothing else quite like it. Now, I'm trying to see, I don't even know if I own multiples of any other brand. I don't believe so. So I guess I'll just go with Vanilla Vibes by Juliet Has Gun. This is sandy, marine / aquatic vanilla, done to the nth degree. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's, extremely hyper natural. It's not, but it's really good. And if I'm just trying to vibe in, downtown where I live, I'm gonna throw, solid 6 to 7 sprays of that on and have a jolly old time. Love it. I will say though, that's a fragrance I can't really wear in colder temperatures. That's definitely like a 70 Fahrenheit plus fragrance for me. I'm gonna go on to some travel atomizers. Recently, I've come to appreciate these a little more. Going through even 10 mils is gonna take quite a while for me, especially these heavier fragrances. But this is one I acquired yesterday, actually, over an indie house in Atlanta. And it's gonna be Pop by Suga Parfum. I actually have this on right now because I was testing my travel out. It's hyper-realistic root beer, almost like a hoppy accord in the base. It's outstanding. It's funny because there's a slight parallel to another fragrance that I'm about to mention that I have a travel of here. And in a way, this goes against sort of how I collect, my fragrance collection / journey. I try to not duplicate anything. Everything here is pretty one of its kind in my collection. I try to go for the best stuff. So, you know, if I have, for example, you know, fougere, this is my favorite fougere. If I'm going for, you know, a sweet tobacco fragrance or a smoky vanilla, got Tobacco Vanille. You'll see I have my favorite, I believe it's a clove fragrance. And you sort of get what I'm saying. You know, if I'm buying something, if I'm committing to a purchase of something on like a full scale, like a bottle, even a travel atomizer, I'm gonna make sure it's the best of the kind. And that's why I don't really care about price when I'm buying things, because if I'm buying, you know, one fragrance every 3 months, if it's, you know, $400 or $500, oh well, you know, I'm saving for that. Fragrances, other than like vinyl and like vinyl collecting, fragrances isn't the main hobby I spend money on, so get a little inside my mind there. But the fragrance that Pop reminds me of, and this is sort of faded a little bit, it's Creation E Parfum by Rosia. And this is the Parfum version, not the Parfum cologne. I think once you smell the Parfum cologne just never even crossed my mind as something I'd want to buy. The Parfum's amazing. I have it right here because I was comparing Pop and Enigma earlier. I'm going to shower off before I go in public because I'm wearing, you know, 3 different scents. It's very, very good. It's almost like Pop, but more mature in a way. It is a little more full-bodied in comparison to Pop. You know, Pop is root beer and hops off my skin. You know, there's a little bit of tobacco in there that's probably creating some sort of accord in there off me. But Enigma is just so much more complex. Not necessarily better though. I probably prefer Pop, if I'm being quite honest. Right now in, you know, December 2021, Pop is my preference between that and Rosia Enigma. But it's really good. It's a bit mature for me, you know, I'm 24. This is definitely up there, but it's something that I'm happy I own. I almost got rid of it. I almost sold it last week, but I'm happy I didn't. So the last, you know, travel sort of thing I have is actually a perfume oil by Alchemia Perfumes. Is Dark Things Are Meant to Be Loved. This is, it's hard to really put it into words. It's like coconutty coffee. It's really good. It's pretty original. You know, it's something that I like it a lot. It's by far the best Alchemia that I've tried. I don't like a lot of what I've tried from them personally, but this is a home run. If I could get it in, you know, a regular eau de parfum or eau de toilette or even like a straight spray bottle, I love that. Rollerball is just not really my thing. It's good though. I'll do a review on it eventually. I would say out of everything here, it's probably my least favorite fragrance that I own, but it's still really good. I still give it a solid 9. And it does sort of remind me of this, and that's why I'll talk about this next. This is Dolce Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. The hype's real for this. This is essentially perfection when it comes to designer fragrances. You know, you can get this on the gray market or on Reddit for like $60 for like 60 to 70 bucks for a 5-ounce bottle. It's insane. Like, it's unreal actually. That'll last me years, and I wear that at least once a week. So I don't really have much else to say about this that hasn't been said. It's the best designer fragrance for under $100. Easy, no questions asked. For a full bottle, $100. I'd say it's my second favorite non-private label designer fragrance of all time. Only bested out by the Fireplace by Mason Martin Margiela and the Replica line. Smells just like you're by a fireplace. To me, By the Fireplace and the one Eau de Parfum are the top 2 non-private label designer fragrances. There's only one other one in my collection I'm going to next. But they're just really good. By the Fireplace is, again, you know, photorealistic, you're by a fireplace. I don't know the notes off the top of my head. I believe it's like chestnut, gaiac wood, and vanilla. That's mainly what I get off there, at least that's what I get that I remember. It's been a few weeks since I've worn that one. But it's amazing. I have no complaints whatsoever with that. It's truly something. Truly something. And it's the only Margiela that really like puts me in a state of mind. You know, Beach Walk's another one that I like a lot. Jazz Club's okay. It's sort of vapid though. You know, Jazz Club, there's something missing, which I bought it and returned it. So going past Margiela, this is the other non-private designer that I own. This is Acqua di Gio Profumo. 80G plus patchouli and incense. It's fantastic. I mean, there's not a better fragrance in this sort of area. I don't want to call it, it's not a blue fragrance, so to speak, but it's the best fragrance I can sort of satisfy a blue fragrance in my mind. If we're going off pure blue fragrances, I'm picking Ralph Lauren's Polo Deep Blue Parfum every time. Every time. It's far better, far more of a personality in that comparison to like Blood of Chanel or Sauvage, especially Sauvage. Sauvage is pretty trash. Blood of Chanel, it's fine, but I mean, you know, once you get into sort of niche and indie, I don't want to say you go past Blood of Chanel, but it's just so basic. Like that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for my taste, it just doesn't cut it. But for me, Acqua di Gio Profumo, it does have quite a bit of personality, and I love it. So, where will we go next? This is a pretty under the radar fragrance. It's really nice. This is a pickup from, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago. It's Blackbird by Limp Orchids. Already made quite a dent in that too. This is sort of a blackberry, I believe pine is in here too. That's what I get off my skin. It's very jammy. Think of like if you're walking through a forest and for some reason there's like a whole bunch of blackberries that you stepped on. Just sort of sitting away and you're smelling, you know, all the coniferous forest, you're smelling the jammy blackberry. It's sort of weird. Coming all together, and that's what this fragrance is. Is it the highest quality ever? No. But does it smell really good? Yes. And that's all I'm really caring about. I mean, quality matters, of course, but if the smell is of the nth degree, I'm not necessarily expecting, you know, Slumberhouse quality out of everything. Speaking of Slumberhouse, here we have, do not want to drop this. This is hard to get. Norn. Oh, you know, just the best coniferous fragrance of all time. I don't really consider Blackbird a super coniferous fragrance, although I said, you know, it's a coniferous forest. That's more of a jammy, piney fragrance, which I guess you can, you know, I'm sort of rambling about pine and coniferous, but there's a little bit of a difference there. This is sort of a deeper, I don't know if I necessarily say more aromatic fragrance, but it's just in another level. So many brands have tried to do what Slumberhouse did with this. I love Pinewood. I love Pinewood perfumes, but I feel like their entire line is essentially trying to make this. It's second to none. If you can find it, it's worth whatever price it's listed at. I mean, I've seen them up to $400 for the 30 ml. It's worth it. I'd rebuy it. I mean, I don't plan on running out of this for at least 5 to 10 years. Because when I do wear it, I do 2 sprays. You know, this is lasting me a ton of wears. Well over 100, I hope. It's really, really, really good and lives up to the hype. Absolutely. So, let's go to another artisanal, I guess we can say that, indie fragrance. Salted Green Mango, Stranger's Parfumery. Give me some Prim Lamras. This is fantastic. This is my #1 summer scent. It is exactly what it says. It's a salted green mango fragrance. There's a little bit of funk in it, a little bit of like, I don't know if I'd necessarily say animalic funk, but there's a little bit of something in there that gives it a little depth, which makes it easier to wear in non-extreme heat. So I can wear that anywhere between like 70, it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is oftentimes in Florida what I'm getting. So this is hyper versatile for me. Really casual, really dressed up. Either way, salted green mango is gonna make your day. Oh my God. My next fragrance, is it basic? Yes. Is it also one of the greatest fragrances ever made? Absolutely. Baccarat Rouge 540, Mason Francis Kirkjohns. This is the small bottle. When I run out of this, which based on that probably is coming within the next 2 or 3 years, I will be buying the bigger bottle. It's worth it. It's, when I talk about a compliment monster, this is it. I don't care about compliments whatsoever, but I know a lot of frag comment does, and I'm a moderator in a fairly large fragrance Discord, and when anyone ever comes in asking for compliments, BR540. The clones, they're okay. Instant Crush, Cloud, fine. Montal has Essential Instinct. There's something by them that I've tried that's akin to BR540. None of it matches. The BR540 is the real deal. Here's another one. This one's fairly under the radar. You know, it gets talked about every now and then. I have a friend that really likes this fragrance, rightfully so. It's my favorite from Zerjoff, Dolce Amalfi, out of the Cosmorati line. I mentioned clove earlier. Is there a better outward clove note than what's found in here? I don't think so. If there is, let me know. I'd love to smell it. It's a weird fragrance. It's very strange. None of this is pre-written, obviously. A lot of my reviews I type it up in sort of re-lecture style off of what I've written, but this is all off the dome. This is strange. It's like a vanilla clove and like quince and some other fruits. I'd say it's a gourmand fragrance, and it can be worn any time of the year. I would say even in high heat, go 2 sprays, go like 1, 2, and you're good. Maybe another third under the shirt. I like, doing that and smelling some fragrance throughout the day. This is nice. I bought a 1 ounce bottle. I'll be upgrading to the 100 ml when that runs out. I'll go through that in a minute though. Whew, this is one of the best discoveries of the year. This is my favorite fragrance for the springtime currently. Although it's not spring, but it's number 1 on my spring list if everything stays as is. Etruscan Water by Francesca Bianchi. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. Unreal. If you want Mitsuko, but to the nth degree in terms of quality, buy Etruscan Water. It's essentially off my skin Mitsuko, minus the peach that fragrance has, just done at a whole different level. Is it pricey on a per ml basis? Yes. Is it absolutely worth it? Yes. This fragrance is dark academic vibes in a bottle. If I'm studying for a big exam for college and going to my library like at midnight, I'm popping 4 sprays of this. Popping 4 sprays, and it's gonna last the entire night. What I will say though, when you're spraying yourself, I spray my arms so I can, do a quick, whiff and sniff, as my 2 cents would say, throughout the day. Spray your area once, because if you spray like twice, for me, it comes off a little animalic for the first few hours. Your mileage may vary, but just watch yourself when spraying that. And this brings me to the final fragrance in my collection. As of, December, today the 17th, 2021. This is Tuca Tatao by House of Matriarch. I realize the camera might not be picking up on everything. It's fine. This is unreal. Now, is it my favorite fragrance? No. I don't think another brand could do what this does. Even, to me, Zoologist Chameleon's kind of close in its ethos, to speak, to what this is. This is an extremely, hyper complex, fruity / marine / aquatic fragrance. It's pretty sweet. There's everything you could think of pretty much in this fragrance, and it's my favorite Matriarch that I've tried. Will I ever run out of this? I don't know. I don't wear it super often. When I do, I only go 3 or 4 sprays. It definitely gets wear. I'd say at least once a month, but it's not something I'm consistently reaching for on a weekly basis. But it's really good. Love it. So that's the collection. Now for fragrances that I would 100% rebuy, I'll go this from a definitely rebuy, I might rebuy, and then I'm probably not gonna rebuy. So fragrances I'm definitely rebuying: Viking by Creed. Second, Virgin Island Water by Creed. I forgot to mention, another fragrance that I am considering picking up is Bohemian Lime by Goldfield and Banks. It has a very, very slight resemblance to this. Whereas this goes in sort of a boozy route. Bohemian Lime's much more tinny and fragile. I might pick it up, we'll see. I kind of want the 50 milliliter of that. But fragrance I'm rebuying. Of course, Tobacco Vanille, the GOAT. Salted Green Mango, of course. This will probably get rebought in 2 years. I'm gonna be running through this next year. Blackbird H540. D&G the one, or the Parfum, for sure. By the Fireplace. Norn, but will I have to rebuy it? Probably not. I mean, once I run out of this, I'm assuming it's gonna be in like 15 years, honestly. And I'll either be like just non-existent, like no one's gonna have any Norn ever. If in that case, a good alternative would be Fianagi by Serge Lutens. That's a really good fragrance, and I have a review written of it that I need to post soon, anyways. So hopefully that's up soon. Tuscan Leather, for sure. There's a lot of fragrances that are kind of like this. Pillow Lips by Suga Parfums is another one. It's fairly similar, but I think this does it best. So I would rebuy that. And actually, you know, the more I think about it, that's all I would 100,000% rebuy. So you got Blackbird H540, the one Eau de Parfum, By the Fireplace, Salted Green Mango, Norn, Tuscan Leather, Viking Virgin Olive Water, and Tobacco Vanille. That's 9 fragrances. Ones that I'd probably rebuy, and I know this sort of goes against what I said earlier, but like fragrance I'd definitely rebuy. Dolce Amalfi. There might be something similar to this that's better out there. Like, you know, I might need just more time with it. I bought it when I bought it back in March. So we were looking like 9 months ago. I thought this was like the best thing ever back then. Over the summer, decreased a little bit in my ranking. I thought about selling it at one point. But over the past like 3 weeks, this has been something I've reached for at least like 2 or 3 times a week. As you can tell, I made quite the dent in there. So, I mean, we'll see. This will probably end up being, you know, screw it. I'll put it in as a 10th fragrance that I'd keep for sure. It's really, really good. Fragrances that I would probably rebuy, Vanilla Vibes. Tuscan Leather. Probably Millesime Imperial because it's one of my girlfriend's favorite fragrances off me. I love it too. I'd probably rebuy it. Pop by Suga. Again, I've only had, you know, today and yesterday, and then the day before when I tried it with me, but I see myself actually buying a full bottle of that eventually. We'll see when that happens. So that leaves us with a few fragrances. Blackbird. I don't know if I'd rebuy this. It's really nice, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see on that fragrance. I don't know. Again, this isn't me saying I'm not gonna buy the fragrance. This is me saying, you know, maybe I'll buy it again. I'm not 100% positive. Acqua di Gio Profumo. It's really good. There's nothing really I could say negatively about it. It's just getting discontinued, and again, I don't really care about price when evaluating fragrance. I just don't think it's, you know, the best of the best. And I think, you know, if I'm picking between Acqua di Gio Profumo and Salted Green Mango for sort of a, you know, funkier aquatic, I'm picking Salted Green Mango. Not to say that they're super similar, because they're not, but it's just an observation. Enigma by Rosia. I like pop more. That's really what that comes down to. Although I might just buy both. I love the whole root beer accord thing. We'll see. As Dark Things Are Meant to Be Loved. Probably not rebuying that, if I'm being honest. It's really good. That's going to take me a long time to go through 5 milliliters of that. That's like a very Halloween-y fragrance for me. It's probably only we're in October, so that'll probably last, you know, 5 to 10 years anyway. It's just that little 5 mil. Tuca Tatao. I love it, but I don't want to draw a parallel between that and Dolce Amalfi, or Dolce Amalfi, however you pronounce that. But I mean, I'm wearing them in the same in the same times I'd wear, you know, either one. I like Dolce and Amalfi a little more. So that probably not get repurchased either. We'd see though. This one I really don't think I'd rebuy, but I also don't think I'll have to rebuy for a long time. And that's Aventis. I mean, it's really good. Is it one of the best catch-all men's fragrances of all time? Of course. But there's just not that much personality there. You know, at this point in my fragrance life, or my experience of fragrances, I want personality. I'm getting more personality out of, you know, salted green mango, Norn, Viking, really anything else in my collection, a Tuscan Leather, By the Fireplace, Pop, where Aventis is just not that, you know, mind-blowing anymore. It's good. Is it the best though? Nah, probably not. Plus, if we're going for like a woody, fruity fragrance, I think Blackbird is a little more unique. I would definitely buy this before I bought Aventis again. But this video has run extremely long. Hopefully I will make this video again next year if I find some more things I'm interested in buying other than, you know, woodcut and follow. But that's it for today. Comment if you guys have any requests. I'll buy any decant. You know, if you guys want to see a review, I'll review it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.